Keith, what was the reception like for Juan Soto on Friday night? Because a lot of people wanted to get in there for the first game before the hatred died down.
It was everything. It was better than I could have imagined. I thought it would be a movie, and with my own eyes, I'm like, this is greater than. And I was sober Friday. Like I had to work, I had to do UFAN after, so I just was dead sober, and it was a fever dream because as soon as you get out on the street and you see Met logos and Yankee logos, and people are talking shit. And then there's the guy selling the F1 Soto shirts, Soto who, Soto sucks. Those 3 shirts were for sale. Everywhere is slam packed because it's New Yorkers. It's not like 90% Yankee fans and 10% Cleveland Guardians fans. Like it is New York outside in the Bronx. The lines were absolutely packed. Even my little cheat code that I have to get in, I had to wait a little while because I brought the cowbell man with me. I couldn't just use my credential. I had Milton, the cowbell man, to ring the cowbell with me.
Can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question real quick. So you're trying to be inconspicuous, and you bring a guy with you named the Cowbell Man.
Milton, that's my guy. He's been ringing the cowbell since '96. But
I love the guy. But
you walk in the Yankee Stadium with a bag that has a cowbell in it, you're gonna get stopped.
There's bells going off, It's like, it's like, listen, we're gonna try to sneak into this place. I brought Bullhorn Man with me. All right, So,
and like I stick out like a sore thumb now, so I tried to like go around the side. Never mind, it doesn't matter either way. Once we got in, so like I wasn't in there. I didn't honestly walk into the stadium until like 7:05, and luckily because it was so crazy, they waited a few minutes. But we go in and we go straight to the bleachers. I'm telling you, the first thing I heard when I stepped on the first step down into the bleachers was a welcome to the jungle, right? And people start whooping up. People see me, key. I'm like, let's go. And as soon as people start coming out, the roar, the boos, it was so loud. We're trying to start the roll call, and Mark, who's leading the roll call, he ended up losing his voice. Saturday was rough. He couldn't even yell at players' names. We all had to back him up. But Friday is like, it was so loud. And the whole thing with the roll call is like, Judge will acknowledge with the Guardy flex. You'll get a, Goldie tip of the cap. When we got to second base with Yorbit Vivas, we did Yorbit Vivas like 10 times. And I'm like, yo, keep it moving. Let's go. I'm like, he can't hear. I'm like, and I'm saying that Mark is like 4 rows behind me. He can't hear me because all it was boo, fuck Juan Soto.
Yeah.
And it's coming from every section above you, to your left, to your right. It was.
You were in the house. I was watching on TV. The Yes production team had their hands full on Friday night with all the F-bombs and and they were trying to suppress the booing. I don't care what you say. They were tampering it down, bro, because when he was walking up to the plate, it was at this boo high pitch, and then they just went.
Everyone that I talked to, season ticket holders, old ladies, old men, they said, I've never heard louder boos. Not for Altuve and the Astros. They're like, the boos were raining down. They were deafening. Shout out to Kevin Dart, the vice president of ticket sales, who texted me. He said, let the boos rain down. Anybody that was telling you don't boo, why would they boo? Come on, bro.
Yeah, no. First of all, when you're paying 200% over face value for the ticket, okay, that you would regularly pay for a regular show,
$200 to get in there with fees and everything.
Enough of this. We're not allowed to boo shit, okay? You're a paying customer. You're allowed to voice your opinion in any manner in which you want to, as long as it's cool in the rules. Don't boo. They did turn their back, and they booed. We did everything. They were throwing money at Juan Soto.
Oh, yeah.
They were booing him.
The
and
signs.
You know what? It's affecting him. This is not the same guy that we saw in the Bronx last year. He goes 1 for 10, 4 walks. All he did was walk. It's. I mean, you should have just went out and get Kevin Youkilis if you want a guy to walk 4 times a game. I mean, you should have.
They should have just kept Daniel Vogelback.
Keith, it would have been cheaper to get a time machine or a machine that clones people and get Kevin Youkilis back than actually paying full rate for Juan Soto, double the amount of Aaron Judge getting paid, who hypothetically might be the best right-handed hitting baseball player of all time. I say he's a little more like Frank Thomas right now. Do it for a couple more years, and then we're fucking talking. But 400 average. My question to you is, the Knicks win. Knicks win. Okay. What was the interaction between Mets and Yankees? Was it the hug from Step Brothers?
Yeah, because the Yankees went up 4 runs in the third inning, and I was watching the Knick game on my phone because I had to be on the radio to talk about it. What I jokingly said on Twitter, and I even said on air, and I was like, Mets fans quickly became Knicks fans in there. They were more concerned with the Knick game. And since we were in the driver's seat of that game and Yankee fans were comfortable, we're sharing phones. They had it on in the Ford Club. They had it in the back by like Low Bells. They had it on. The Yankees did a great job of that too. Having it on screens. It was on in the Hard Rock. Having it on screens where people could watch. And the Nixon 6 chants broke out. And then when the Yankees put the final score on the board, a collective like, let's go Knicks, and a loud cheer. And it was over because the Mets game was 6-2. The game Friday was 6-2 Yankees over Mets. And the Met fan knew they were cooked. I'll say this before I pass it back to you. They wanted to celebrate so early. This is what the Met fan does. They always celebrate prematurely. Oh, we got Carlos Correa. We're going to win the World Series. Okay. Juan Soto tipped his cap when he came out, like tipped his helmet. And I saw Met fans like, this is hilarious. He doesn't care at all. He's tipping his cap to you. Like, it's so funny. He doesn't care. He's unaffected. I watched him. He was very affected. His warm-ups, he didn't come to the warning track to warm up. That's where Judge and him always warmed up. You know why? Because they could whoop it up with fans, throw the ball, play the game, who wants it. He kept 50 yards of distance between that wall. He was warming up in shallow right. And then, I saw how many times he just adjusted his hat. Just kind of, it's like, you know what it was, bro? No one stopped the entire weekend, and people were like, maybe they DH him. No, you put him out there in right field because he plays right field. You're paying this guy $51 million to DH and shield him from that? No, but I'm telling you, he heard the mama huevos. He heard the other, Spanish curse words. He heard, we got Grisham. We don't need you. You can't field. We have Judge. Judge is better. Grisham's better. Juan's a bozo. Like, I'm telling you, like, it did not stop. And I like that gets tiresome. You're out there and it keeps coming, and it's coming from different directions.
Last night, he threw the ball into the bullpen instead of throwing it into the stands. So that is Juan's biggest detractors is, like, I don't think I can explain to the audience how much the Dominican Yankee fans loved Juan Soto in right field last
the Bronx.
Year. I sit in 105. He sits in the bleachers, so we're both there to experience it. And it was love for 80 to 81 games, okay? So pretty much
plus October, the whole postseason.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's a given. But like when he was out there, it did affect him. Keith is exactly right. His body language was off. And if anyone noticed, it took to the third game on Sunday night for Aaron Judge to acknowledge Juan Soto's presence. So maybe Aaron Judge with all those, hey, did you text him? Did you call him? Did you call Juan Soto? Maybe Aaron Judge is like, hey, fuck Juan Soto.
Yeah.
He should be calling me because I'm the captain of the New York Yankees and I'm the best player in baseball. And in fact, you're a glorified right fielder, and you might be the third best outfielder in New York now. And guess what, Keith? If he continues this pace, the Met fans are going to tear him apart. You want to talk about a fickle fan base? It's the New York Mets. Also, when you were talking about before, Met fans love to touch the money. They love to talk about the money. They're like, they've never been there before, so they don't understand. And also this young guy mentality, and I can also tie this into the Juan Soto and the Altuve chants. Don't say Altuve for 5 years. Yeah, Altuve, but then he eats your fucking lunch for 5 years. So all these chants of, and it worked out in our advantage this weekend. But guys, I'll tell you this, and I'm going to be real, and I keep it real on this show because I'm not going to fluff the Yankees all the time. Soto's going to show up in July, and if he's going right, he's going to have a fucking chip on his shoulder. And if it's anybody with a chip on his shoulder that can produce in big spots, it's Juan Soto. I'm not going to play it like he didn't do well for us last year, like he wasn't the fucking dude, like he wasn't the straw that stirred the drink, because he was. Okay? The Yankees had Verdugo and Alex and Rizzo at first base. This is who we were dealing with. Judge and Juan Soto threw this team on their back last year and had a wonderful thing. I am done now with the Juan Soto hate. Yeah, fuck him. See you later. You know what? But dude, you made your bed, lie in it. The greatest thing is watching him win 0 rings in Citi Field. And if you Met fans think last year is any indication on how your franchise is going to go for the next 5 years, you're also delusional because you guys aren't going to make it back every year. Do you notice the Atlanta Braves in your division, how they started the season? Looks very reminiscent to the way that you started the season last year. And it also seems like guys in the NL East take alternating years on who's going to go to the World Series. So the Phillies, Braves, and Mets, that's the ranking order and pecking order I have, because guess what? The Yankees might not be that fucking good, but we're hurt all over the place.
Yeah.
We're doing a youth movement on the fly. We're the Baby Bombers 2.0. Bunch of old, overpaid dudes who you're still paying for, and possibly the worst owner in baseball. So, Keith, I don't know. Does that kind of sum it up?
Yeah, I'm going to try my best to add to it. Yeah, definitely the worst owner in baseball as far as his propensity to light money on fire. Like, this guy loves it. I jokingly mentioned Carlos Correa. He was the only one that wanted to pay Correa that, like, jump to do that. This return on investment with Juan Soto so far is not what you signed up for, not what you thought. You thought he was going to go in there and destroy the Yankees, right? He would be the one to go in and hit 3 home runs this series. No, it was Cody Bellinger Cody Bellinger starred in this series, and my joke with that was, like, he's hated the Mets since his dad was in pinstripes. I don't know if he was alive. I don't know how old he was. Like,
I got a poll question for the listener.
I don't know how old he was.
I got a poll questioner for the for the listeners. What was a worse investment, buying MySpace or signing Juan Soto to 14 years? Let me know in the comment section below.
Now all the talk is about he's uncomfortable. Wait a minute. You're making $51 million. You can't hustle to first? Yeah, because this whole thing was in his head. Now, Eric, imagine.
Who was making him feel uncomfortable?
Yeah, us classless Yankee fans.
Well, don't leave for $5 million.
Heartbroken. Who's heartbroken now? The Met fan is heartbroken now. Your hero, your Lord and Savior, Juan Soto. He shrunk. He didn't do anything but work his walks. He stole a couple bases. That's cute. But you lost the series, and you got embarrassed nationally on Sunday Night Baseball, mostly by Cody Bellinger, who was the guy. He didn't play with Juan Soto last year. Cody Bellinger was brought in here. Who left the outfield? Juan Soto. Who'd they add to the outfield? Cody Bellinger. Like, it's poetic how it all went down, right? Devin Williams shined this weekend. All the talk about Pete Alonso's his daddy. Pete Alonso's his father. No, he's not. That was last year. That was one good swing last year. Devin Williams struck out the side. Devin Williams was great last night as well, getting Juan Soto to ground out. Now, going back to what you were saying, like, imagine, like, this is an analogy for you. Imagine working somewhere and leaving that job, and that company thrives without you. Just in the first couple of months, it's like you thought that you went on to greener pastures, and you thought that you would be missed. You thought they'd be calling you like, hey, how do you do this? Or, can you log into this? Can you show us how you... They're like, no. Like, we've done so much better. So now imagine walking back into that workplace. He walked back into Yankee Stadium. I was at so many games last year. I have film of it. I watched him. I posted when he would come out and skip over the line and throw his hands up, and the whole side of that stadium would stand up. Dominican flags, people making noise. Woo!
I get there early to see it. Yeah, I get there early to see it.
It was something to see because that was the Yankee fan trying to lobby for him. That was the Yankee fan trying to entice him to stay. He was boo-proof. I've been saying this on the fan. Nobody is boo-proof, bro. I've been in there, they booed Hal Steinbrenner. I've been in there, they booed Aaron Judge. Derek Jeter's like, yeah, when they boo, like, it's for a reason. Like, we got to be better. They didn't boo Juan Soto because they're like, we don't want him to feel like, this could be a thing and, like, he'll come back, whatever. He comes back and he is booed the entire time.
And that's a great point, because I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just have to make this point before I forget. We give guys such a hard time when they come here as free agents. We get on guys like Tino Martinez. He had a rough April. We got on his ass. We get in Joey Gallo's ass. I mean, Joey Gallo almost went to the fucking nut house because of us.
He was scared to walk around the city.
But the thing is, the reason the vitriol is so much, it's not the money, it's not him, it's that we gave ourselves up for the first time as Yankee fans with love. We gave this guy a pass. We said, hey, Juan Soto is in this box. We want to re-sign him. We do not boo him this year. We do not say word one about him. It's all love. It's everything for Juan Soto this year. And then we let ourselves out there. It's like going out with a girl or a guy, and you expose yourself and you leave yourself out there emotionally, and then they fucking tossed you in the garbage pail. And you're like, you know what, man? I'm a sucker for doing that. You know what? I should have been busting this guy's balls when he hit the skids in July, when the Yankees lost 10 games and they were losing games to Boston in Boston and not winning series. Lost 7 series in a row. Should have been in this guy's.
When he wasn't making plays in the outfield that were like 80, 90% catch probability. And it's like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah, that catch that he made in right field, though, it looked like he put his whole life on the line to get
He overran it. He overran and was able to throw his hand up. But I was like, hey.
And I played into it. I was like, you know what? They're not going to suck me in. It's another series. I was telling myself this, Keith. It's another series now. Bro, last night when I was listening to it on the radio, I was like, I had a couple of comedians in the car with me, and they'd never seen me listen to a Yankee game before. And they're like, "Who are you talking to?"
You're talking back to the broadcast.
No, that's constantly what I do. I go, "How does Volpe?
Oh my God!
Bases loaded.
Don't, dude.
Twice.
At least you didn't see it. At least you didn't see it. I couldn't get over it.
Yeah, and I'm like, this loopy bullshit. And because we're in traffic, it's Sunday coming back from Massachusetts, so just put double guns. So I'm like, and they're like thinking I'm talking about the traffic. I'm like, no, I'm talking about Anthony Volpe. So that leads us into our next segment. Let's do a little who's hot and who's not. Okay, I'll tell you who's not hot. Anthony Volpe, man. This guy is like Jekyll and Hyde. So we talked about him a couple of weeks ago, and we were like, all right, I don't think he's the guy. And I still feel like that. Then he had last week where he was a doubles machine and he was getting on base. And then he has a week like this. So who is Anthony Volpe, man? Because I'm starting to really get tired of it.
He's in his head too much to the point where he's not thinking regular thoughts. That first at bat, dude, he just walked Paul Goldschmidt. They intentionally walk Judge. He walks Belly. The bases are loaded, bro. First pitch, a curveball down from David Peterson. Like I'm telling you, I tweeted. I'm like, I couldn't get over it because I'm like,
That's his pitch.
I'm not a baseball savant, but that's anybody who has watched baseball, if this pitcher is struggling to throw strikes, make him pitch. Volpe is this tall. Make him throw it in your zone. Are you crazy? Like, bro, the way that inning ended, I'm like, whatever. But then Volpe got redemption, okay? And it's against Brazoban. And Brazoban sucks. He's walking guys. And he is 3-0 in the count against Brazoban. So in my head, I'm like, we're guaranteed he's going to walk in a run, bases loaded.
I'm screaming, don't take the bat off your shoulder, Volpe.
Dude, he's thinking too much. He's pressing so much. This guy just walked left-handed hitters. You're a right-handed hitter. That ball is going to freaking hit you if you just stand there and don't swing. So you know what happens? The fourth pitch is called for a strike, but it's in tight. So I'm like, fuck. Because I'm like, he's everything that comes inside, he's going to try and fight off. And that's another thing. These umpires, their zone is all over the place. It doesn't help anything. It doesn't help the hitters, the pitchers, the catchers, the people watching at home or in the stadium.
Across the league, it's all over the place.
It's bad. That's why it's overtime. I have these shirts that I have that say ABS, ASAP. I need to start printing them out and pushing them because it's like, it's overtime. But then I'm thinking, okay, Volpe has redemption here. Here it comes. Volpe's going to do it, bro. He finds a way to strike out.
Like, he searched out. He found a way to get out of that at bat. And the way that you say this is exactly right on the money, Keith. Do you think actually maybe being on the Yankees is detrimental to Anthony Volpe's development? Hear me out for a second. He grows up a Yankee fan, diehard Yankee fan, and he grows up in New Jersey and all that shit. Like, if you were to grow up in that situation, you were played for the Reds, there wouldn't be so much pressure on you, internal pressure. We ain't putting the pressure on him because he's another dude getting the pass. DJ LeMahieu, Juan Soto, and Anthony Volpe get the 3 biggest passes I've ever seen in fucking Yankee history, okay? And in fact, fans have been lightening up with guys and giving them more of a pass. So I just don't know, man. I see him put together one week. I see him put together, and then he looks with this loopy uppercut swing bullshit. He gets uncalibrated so quickly, and Boone is so good. Boone's like a Volpe whisper. He literally watches this guy like he's a racehorse.
I batted him 5th yesterday, and it honestly, like...
Oh, then because Austin Wells ain't doing shit neither.
I know, but I don't know. I'm like, I thought about that too. I'm like, Boone, you put him in this situation. You bat him 5th. Twice he comes up with the bases loaded.
I do like
Simple math will tell you that's
yeah.
a good chance of that happening with your fifth hitter.
I do like Wells and Volpe hitting next to each other. Like I said, they come into the Somerset champs. But
Wells had a weak ass at bat too.
no. Wells is another one who's not, okay? He's not hot. Volpe, Wells drive me nuts on this team. And also, I have a retraction, Keith. I sat here on this show last week and I dogged DJ LeMahieu. In fact, I disrespected DJ LeMahieu. I might have made some memes, okay, of his athletic ability and comparing him to the Tin Man. I take it all back. I am wrong, okay? As long as this week's concerned, I was wrong about DJ LeMahieu. He played his ass off this week.
Yeah, you're forgiven. You're not alone in that. You're in the majority. What are you talking about, bro? We all thought that. I'm in the stadium. I said, the machine is back on? I'm like, I got out of my seat during his at-bat. I decided now's the time I can leave this section. I was sitting in the – shout out to WFAN. We have great seats. But I was sitting in the section. I was in 123. There were too many Mets fans. It was way too quiet. And I just had enough of it because I'm over there chanting 1986, 86. And people are looking at me, and I'm just like, all right, I'm not low over here. I'm like, let me skip to the terrace during this DJ at bat. On my way there, I hear the crack, and I'm like, I look, and I just barely see it go out. I'm like, when guys like DJ homer, it's a different reaction than like a Judge or even a Trent Grisham. It's
why?
Nobody had him homering first. If you would have bet 100 on him to homer first, it should have turned into $2,000.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You were going to the Knick game if he
also hit some balls hard. And he's played defense. So, like, remember I was telling you about his ramp up, how long his ramp up was? Yes. That was for a reason. They wanted him to get a long runway into getting back, and they wanted to see if he broke down. They wanted to see if he, what his bat speed was. Like, they got a lot of metrics on him, and he's ready now. And now the conversation with Yankee fans is, oh, where does Jazz play? I'm like, second base.
Okay, so that brings me to another conversation that the Yankees are going to have is that Anthony Volpe, it's either Anthony Volpe's not going to be on this team when the contract comes up, or he's going to be our second baseman. Because
that's possible though. Like
theoretically, you could live because Volpe won't demand a lot of money, and in fact, he'd probably take a hometown discount to stay with the Jankos. Sure. So move Volpe to second, get rid of Jazz, who's going to be an expensive player, and also I really don't like.
And then we just go get Ellie De La Cruz in a couple years,
or just and Ellie De La Cruz. I saw him down in spring training, dude. He's a different kind of human.
Alien. He doesn't look like a baseball player at all.
He's
huge.
The way his body is conformed looks like a Boston Dynamics robot from a Black Mirror episode. Okay? Like straight up, he looks like one large fast twitch muscle.
And when he runs, he looks like a deer or gazelle. Like he looks like something out of the wild. Bro, I was at that Reds game where he hit that triple last year. I said, what the
Okay, let's go wet dream. Let's go wet dream right now, okay? Next year, let's play a little fun. I like to play fun games. Lombard at third, okay? Then we got Cruz at short.
But I don't think he's a free agent until after.
But no. Let's just we're living in fantasy land. We don't have to live in reality right now. Then we get Volpe at second, and then we get the Japanese first baseman.
Munetaka Murakami, some shit like that.
Whatever his name is, I want him in my veins.
Yeah, Munetaka Murakami. I would know his name. I was looking at him a couple years back in the World Baseball Classic.
This is my LeBron James taking my talents to Miami. We need this guy. No, we don't need him. We want this guy, and we need him for $6 million, okay? Because this guy is going to be the next big thing in Major League Baseball, dude. We bring Paul, and I don't know, but then Judge, we got nowhere to make him. We can't make Judge into Dave Winfield at the end of his career.
Yeah, these things will work themselves out, we always say.
I told you, I'm in 2027 right now. I'm
going back to Volpe, bro. Nobody has supported him more than me. Being a Jersey guy, meeting his family, meeting him. I met Volpe before he got up here.
How old was he when you met him?
2022. I actually met him at the stadium in a suite because we had some friends in common. I did some work with the Italian American Baseball Association, And, just, I don't know. I'm always rubbing shoulders with people in the suite level and legends. And like,
You're a smart man, Keith.
I didn't know. I know what I'm doing. I know how to navigate those circles. So I end up meeting everybody. And I mean, I met his dad 2 years before I met him. And then I met Volpe. And you know what I liked about him? In 2022, when I met him in the suite, he didn't sit down. He was kind of like pacing and he like was uncomfortable. The reason he was uncomfortable is because Peraza was playing shortstop and he wasn't up yet. And he's like, between IKF and Peraza, he's feeling like, damn, I could be out there right now.
Yeah.
He was so highly touted as a prospect. It is disappointing. And like I said, I have gone to bat for him for so long, so much so that people get mad at me for not criticizing him. Because what I did, I was like, I looked at his numbers and I'm like, yo, he's been better since you guys were saying he needed a break. That Orioles series where the Yankees called the game on that Saturday and it didn't rain. So he ended up getting an extra day, and then he hit a homer. I bet on him to hit that homer. I had him on the first homer, and he cashed me out some decent coin. But like he's too inconsistent. And when I watched his at bats last night, and in this big game that everybody's watching, which is like a postseason game, I'm like, dude, all you had to do, like, have an at bat against David Peterson and just stand there against Brazoban and we will score runs.
The other night when he drew the walk, actually, the other night he was up on Saturday night, and it was the same thing. He was taken all the way, green light, 3-0, and then he just swings. I think that the reason that with Anthony Volpe, it might be a little bit of false advertising from us. So what I mean by that is Brian Cashman likes to build up his prospects, right? So I bet you what Brian Cashman does is, oh, this guy can do everything. He can, he can fix the sink. He can snake the toilet. He can do everything you want. He's a 5-tool player, but then when you get him, he's only a 2-tool player. So Volpe was a trade bait for a long time. He was always involved in talks and stuff like that with us getting Luis Castillo. Volpe was one of the names that keep coming up, and they never let him go. So what I'm saying is Brian Cashman likes to false advertise like Montero, guys like Montero, and they give them out to teams, and then they're not what they expect. So we finally kept one of our prospects. So maybe Cashman was like, we were told this guy hits for average. He hits for singles. This guy does not hit for average. He has low OPS, and he's a doubles machine. He's Alex Verdugo on the Red Sox.
It sucks because he's supposed to get on and steal bases. He does have some pop. His glove is good, but you know what? He's had some errors and some stupid throws. And
plays this year have cost games. This year.
And he had a stretch of like 3 games in a row with an error where I'm like, no, hell no. Unacceptable, man. It's indefensible. You can't overlook it because it, like you said, it's costing us games and it's important. And this is the New York Yankees. You're never going to get out of the shadow of Derek Jeter. You're never going to get out of the shadow of Mariano. Like, it just is what it is. Like, people are always going to go back to, Hall of Famers. And I want the kid to be great. But at this age now, this is 3rd season. He's 24 now. People get impatient. They want to see him be Gunnar Henderson. They want to see him be Bobby Witt. He ain't that. He came up with Corbin Carroll and C.J. Abrams. He's not even those guys. I mean, no disrespect to Corbin Carroll. He's been great.
He could be a good career Yankee. He could be a Brett Gardner. There's nothing wrong with being a Brett Gardner. I mean, Brett Gardner was the 4th outfielder on this team for a very long time, and then he became the most tenured Yankee on the Yankees. So, I mean, listen, Volpe's the least of our worries. After this weekend,
right? They overcame it. I couldn't get over it in the game, bro, but I quickly forgot about it because they overcame it.
He's very lucky because Belly Baby, because Mr. 1,200 milligrams live resin Bellinger, okay? Fucking love this dude.
That boy is fried.
I try to, like, literally, I bring edibles to the game and I go 1 for onesies with him. I look at his eyes in the outfield and I go, all right, I gotta step my game up. But he's making the outfield conversation a lot more difficult now. But this might be the best of all the worlds that we have. A 3-headed monster of Dominguez, Grisham, and Belly. Now, these guys, one's going to go cold, one's going to be mean. It's going to be like the 3 Bears, okay? It's going to be, one's going to be cold, one's going to be mediocre, one's going to be on hot. Those are the guys that you play, and you have a rotisserie of that 3-player rotation in the outfield. Now we're fucking talking. Consistency, bro. This is the thing. The Yankees have not been able to get on a consistent drive this season. It's either been the bullpen, it's been the starting pitching, or then it's been somebody's been cold. Now we're finally, all the ships got their sails in the right direction. Devin Williams is here. Guess what? Guess Pete Alonso didn't break Devin Williams, Keith.
No, he didn't. And man, shout out to Belly, because I actually had a tweet that, when your tweets don't age well, everybody sees them. when your tweets age well, they act like you didn't say this, but people were quitting on Bellinger, and I'm like, yo, he had a good spring. Like, you remember he was killing in the spring where I was like, yeah. I'm like, if this is what he's going to do this year, and I know it's the spring, but I said he had a back issue. He had food poisoning. Let it warm up, like temperature-wise. Let it warm up, and we'll check back Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend is Friday. Cody Bellinger is people's favorite player today. This guy plays all 3 outfield positions. This guy brought it, man. Even the throw, the relay that Volpe threw, like, he made that play in the outfield, threw it into Volpe. Volpe throws it out. They tag him out at home. This guy, I think, went 7 for 11. He almost had a homer the first night. He had a double.
Yeah.
The grand slam.
He's playing good outfield. I mean, he had an outstanding
and what it's enabling us to do, and that's why I said earlier in the stream, like, who did we subtract from the outfield? Not Alex Verdugo, obviously, but like, we got Soto out of here. Who do we bring into that outfield? Bellinger. He can play all 3 positions. So the DH spot
and a high quality position.
And you don't have to worry about it. I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about him going after the ball in any spot. And the DH spot now is revolving between Ben Rice, Jason Dominguez, and then once in a while Judge.
Yeah, and you can get Gold and you give Goldie a rest occasionally. Who's
if you need to put Ben Rice at first base, yes.
Who's been killing it, dude? He is a godsend. I'm gonna start putting him in Ruben Sierra Love Fest area because, bro, he is the white Ruben Sierra. I think we just
Ruben. I met Ruben at the Pinstripe Pride. And he's on Twitter. He's active on Twitter now.
Homie, like me and my boys used to fight over who would have the stands of him
doesn't do his swing
while playing stickball. No, it's like, no, I'm Ruben Sierra. It's like, well, no, okay, I'm gonna be Juan Gonzalez then, okay, or I'll be Danny Tartable with the pigeon toes. I am just getting old by the second, Keith. We got a big series we got this week. Let me go to my Yankees calendar. We got the Texas Rangers Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then my boys are trying to get me to go to Colorado. My whole group of friends, they're going up to Colorado
for Memorial Day weekend. Yeah,
I told them, so like I told you, I live on the water on Long Island. They're like, hey, let's go to Colorado. I go, hold on. So I've been freezing my dick off all winter. You want me to fucking seek out cold weather? No. I'll be here if you need me, okay? I'll be in the water. Hopefully it'll be nice this weekend.
I was going to say, check the weather, though. I think it's only going to be like 60, maybe 70 here. It might be better in Colorado.
Speedo's coming out anyway, Hammer. Let's go! Yeah, it's going to be a good time. So we got the Colorado Rockies this weekend. Dodgers on the horizon. That's going to be the juice.